All right. Welcome to the Setbreaker podcast. This is episode 5. And today we have our guest, Erik Escobar.
Erik Escobar.
House.
Hello. Thank you, Kim, for having me, man.
Yeah.
Stoked to be here in this beautiful dining area.
Mm-hmm. Very Korean. Very Korean. Okay, so Erick, you are a stand-up comedian.
Yes.
How long have you been doing stand-up, by the way?
So I did my first open mic in 2008.
Yeah.
Then I did one in 2010. But then I really started getting to it March 2012. Okay. So I like to claim that as my birthday. You know what I mean? So 7-ish years. Oh, has it been 7-ish years already? Oh, wow. That feels weird.
Does it make you sick to your stomach?
It makes me sick that I haven't booked more.
Oh, shit.
I'm happy to have been doing it for a while, but I should have accomplished more in life. That's a conversation for my parents, though. But yeah, about 7-ish years. It's been a wonderful ride. It's been a lot of ups and downs, but I love it. It's the best job in the whole world.
Yeah.
I'm happy.
That's the most important thing. Happiness.
Yeah.
Money does not bring happiness. You're also on. To a certain point. Yeah,
it's a balance.
Yeah, it's do you want to eat a cheap ass fucking chuck steak, or do you want to eat a fucking Maestros? I don't.
You know what? I'll steal from Maestros. How about that? I'll go in. I'll just jump out on the bill. Don't
run away.
I probably just shouldn't admit that on a podcast at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. I don't know. I was actually thinking about this the other day. I feel like my past year, I would even say year and a half, has been just really full of gratitude. I'm really grateful for the stuff I'm getting. I've been booking a lot more. Every year I feel like I'm doing a little bit better.
Yeah.
But this past year has been really exciting, really great. The work's been good. The money can always be better, but it's been steady.
It's good. It's good.
And yeah, it's year 6 and 7 have been wonderful. So I'm very happy in my journey thus far.
Dude, that is so fucking good to hear, because a lot of stand-up comedians are miserable as fuck. They are.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes you need the misery in order to make the art, though. You don't need it, but it sometimes helps.
Yeah, because I think it's to tap into emotion.
Yeah,
and I think it's easier to tap into that misery and then try to transmute that than go from joy. Because there's on the Opie Anthony show, I heard one of them say they're afraid to fix their anger, because they're afraid they won't be funny anymore.
I'm like that with medication. I was really depressed a few years ago, and I started seeing a therapist, and they're like, "Do you want to go on meds?" And I was like, "No." Even if that makes me a happier person or balances out my mental state.
Yeah.
I'm very pro medication. If someone needs medication, they should take their medication. But for me, when it was presented more of here's an option, I'm like, oh, will that affect how I feel? And luckily, I was kind of happy to break out of it and stuff like that, but it was an odd moment where I was I'm afraid to get better. I think a lot of comics feel that way.
Oh.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I feel the anger side, the sad side, if you look at someone who has a nice 9-to-5 job, let's not call it nice, just a 9-to-5 job. They experience the same things everyone else experiences, but I think in the traditional norm of life, you can't really show sadness, you can't really show anger. It should, especially with social media, look at everyone's Instagram page, everyone's Facebook page. You just have to look happy, and you have to look you're killing it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I think comics, since we present anger and sadness in a way where it's okay, I think it's a great tool to connect with people, because a lot of people aren't allowed to feel it a lot of the time. So when I'm up here complaining about something, you're like, I'm mad about that too, but I can't tell anyone. Yeah. So it's a weird tool. It's a cool tool. It's a sad tool.
Oh shit. Whoa.
But yeah, man. So how long have you been doing it? You see, you just hit a year?
A year this month. It's been a year.
Congratulations. Happy birthday
to
Happy birthday to you. How does it feel being at the 1 year mark? Because 1 year is a big deal. I feel 1 year and 10 years is a big deal.
It's a huge deal, because I always say 1 year because in 2015 I did 5 mics, but I don't like to count that because I didn't.
Exactly. I'm the same way.
Tried it, fuck that shit. This is a year that I've been going ham, going hard, and doing as many mics as possible. Sometimes 8 to 10 a week, because I wanted to prove to myself that I fucking want this, because I do want it.
Yeah.
Right.
And mics are a very tangible way that show the work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Because I went through
you can count the number of times. You can count the jokes you've worked on. You can count how long your set is now. It's a very tangible thing.
Yeah. And it wasn't until maybe like a month ago that I looked through my voice memos on my iPhone because I record every set, and I was scrolling through them, and I was like, oh my god, it's still going. I'm still scrolling. I'm like, whoa. I didn't realize how many open mics I did.
Yeah.
And I also didn't realize how many $5 mics I spent money on.
No word.
Yeah. Like a lot.
They're popular now. When I was coming up, they weren't as popular.
Yeah, I hear it. Yeah, and I keep seeing more pop up, and it's $5 this, $5 that. But at the end of the day, if it's convenient, I'm going to fucking do it for that time so I can get the reps in. Because I care more. To me, that's an investment in myself. I'm my own fucking stock.
Yeah.
So that's why I say, like, fuck it. If I have to, fuck it, I'll fucking do it. And it does help at the end of the day. But if it was free, I'd rather do that. But anyways, in terms of like how far I've come for myself is, if a joke doesn't work, I don't get shook anymore.
Yeah.
I don't freak out.
I hear you.
You know, I'm like calculating. Okay,
I still do.
Yeah.
But
no. There's still times I do. No. Don't get me wrong. I'm not like impervious.
No,
I just mean like I don't like. I don't do that shit anymore.
I remember having been on stage with a joke that didn't go over, a bit that didn't go over, and feeling almost frozen.
Yeah.
Like it's almost, I wouldn't compare it to a panic attack, but it has those like elements of like a panic or anxiety attack where you're just like,
like in a horror movie, like Jason walks out of nowhere and you're like, oh,
exactly.
But the motherfucker's just walking slow and you don't move. It's like, and then he gets killed.
What's comedy like? It's like getting murdered by Jason. That's very similar. But it's true, man. And I think the more you do it, because regardless of, I think if you're going to a mic, if you're going to a show, you know, you should have your material worked out. You should work out stuff. But there's a lot to be said about just getting in front of a mic. Like, did you ever go to Marty's? Was Marty's around when you were starting out?
No.
Marty's was this crazy mic in Hollywood. It was great. I want to say it was every night from 5 to like 11 or 5 to midnight. Uh-huh. So you go in at 5, I think you pay $5 and get as many reps in as you want. And 9 times out of 10, you would be on stage and no one would be in the room. Like there'd be like 8 comics like smoking outside, someone in the bathroom, and then an empty room, and you're on stage. Wow. But just getting the practice of being on stage with a microphone, people or not, it was invaluable. Just because you're doing it, you know what I mean? You're practicing. It's like lifting weights.
So almost. You'd say even if there's literally nobody, simply by physically holding the microphone and physically standing on stage, that makes a huge difference.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because when I'm practicing jokes in my head or in my room or at a coffee shop, it's me maybe looking down at a noteboard or at a notepad and like reading what I wrote, or it's me like thinking of a premise and just kind of like, I don't know, I'm outside with a cigarette, just like running through like what I could think of. And it doesn't feel the same in those elements that it would on a stage with a mic. Even just having a mic in your hand is it creates a different energy. It's almost like an on-off switch. You know what I mean? Like I could do the jokes like this and whatever, but when I have that mic, there's a certain like, oh, okay, I'm in the zone.
Yeah, kind of like Batman, like Bruce Wayne versus Batman. When Batman puts on his gear and the fucking mask, he is the knight.
Mm-hmm. When he puts on that mask, his voice changes.
It does change. Yeah.
Bruce Wayne doesn't talk like that, but Batman only talks like that.
But
he has asthma.
Christian Bale, okay, yeah. But no, you're right about that. Okay, no, that makes a lot of sense because actually, there's a comedian that I really think is one of the most funny people I've ever seen, Willis Turner. Willis Turner's hilarious. He told me back in the day, because he's a bit older. Back in the day, like he wouldn't be able to hit mics at all, like because he'd be waiting forever and not go up. So he'd go home and practice for like 10, 20 minutes in front of a mirror. Mm-hmm. And he'd say that is what helped him get to where he's at right now in terms of skill level. Because he is good.
Yeah. And what he was probably doing is, because when I say I practice in front of a mirror, I might go in front of a mirror, tell a couple of jokes, whatever, then take a nap. You know what I mean? Yeah. But if you're in front of the mirror talking like how you would talk, like I don't talk like this on stage. This is a regular voice. But on stage, I might have some more inflection. There's a little more like punch to it. If you're practicing that way, it's going to be great. But if you're practicing this way, it's like, well, what's the point?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is, I'm not working out. I'm just kind of like going through the motions. You know?
Yeah, just like mindlessly. But he said, he would treat it like a fucking show.
Good for him.
In front of his mirror.
Good for him.
And man, he's a great guy. Shout out to Willis.
Well, there's also like no one way to get good. Like I remember I was talking to a writer once, and he was writing for a show, and I was like, I really would love to get in a writer's room, and I would really love to be a writer. I think that's like a very exciting, wonderful career path that I've always kind of like dreamed about. And if you have any advice, let me know. And he's like, honestly, I could tell you the way I came up, but that might not be the way you come up. And that's not the way anyone else has come up. You know what I mean? So whether it's hustling at mics 3-4 times a night, 7 days a week for a year, or just like crafting it in your room, or just being like a writer who writes everything, like we all have a different kind of mode to get to the next step. And, you know, there's no one way to get to that next step. Just get to the next step.
Yeah, that's good to know, too, because for this whole year, I've been trying these different techniques that people tell me.
Yeah. And you just got to figure out which one works best for you.
Yeah.
Because it might work great for them, but will it work for you?
Yeah, because some people say, oh, they write on stage. Like, I don't write much. I'll maybe write like the premise real quick in a sentence and I'll work it out on stage. And other people say, I write it all out. And some people say, I just do bullet points. And I tried all of those. And I felt like I could only do one or the other. But now I got to the point, the way I work is I do write on stage, but I still need to like write it out a lot on a paper.
Yeah.
But I don't memorize it. But I'll keep writing it out. And then when I go up there, I just let it be free flow. Because for some reason, writing it out like a journal, it kind of like the main parts gets in my head.
Yes, I hear you. Well, it fills in, I think writing it out for me fills in the meat. Because like if I were to just write like a set list, I'm writing they're really weird. My set lists are like the first phrase of a setup and then like the punchline, but they don't really make sense. You know what I mean? It'll be like I don't know, like dad millennial. Because I talk about my dad, but millennial is like a punchline. You know what I mean? So when I write it out, it like reinforces the stuff in the middle. Because really when I think of jokes, all I'm thinking of like, how does it start? How does it end? How does it start? How does it end? But I often like flub things in the middle because I never really think about those things. You know what I mean? Like the journey. It's weird, man. Comedy's weird. It's a weird game. Are you having fun? Are you liking it?
I fucking love it, man. Cool. I have so much more confidence in like a sense of self because I used to watch BET growing up, like, and watch Comic View and all that.
I wish I was watching black comedy when I was a kid. Jesus Christ. I feel like, because like, I feel like a lot of, not to generalize, but I think a lot of black comics, there's a certain like hustle and confidence to it.
Yep.
That's so good. And it's so fun to watch and it's so entertaining. And I feel like a lot of the comedy I was watching as a kid was like, I love Mitch Hedberg, but you know what I mean? When you grow up watching Mitch Hedberg and you're like, how do I do comedy? Oh, I guess I got to mumble. You know what I mean? Like, that's what comedy is, right? Floor. That's what comedy is, isn't it?
Yeah.
But like, I don't know, if I were to come up watching a better variety or even just like a lot of BET coming up, you'd be like, oh, that's how you work it. I should have known that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, because I'd be in middle school, I'd be watching that and then like Comedy Central. So I'd get both sides, like the black comics and like the white comics. And I definitely resonated much more with the black comedy because it really made me laugh, you know.
Well, and also as you know, being Asian American, like anyone who was a minority was kind of exciting when you were a kid. You know what I mean? Like I was really lucky because when I was younger, I was introduced to Rex Navarrete, who's a big Filipino comic, and he to this day he's still probably one of my favorite comics in the whole world, and he's so good. But the main attraction was like, oh, you look like me. You know what I mean? Yeah. And sometimes it's not even like, oh, you look like me. It's just like, oh, you went through a similar journey I did, or oh, you were also the one black guy or the one brown kid or the one Asian kid in a school of a bunch of white people and you're talking about that. I get it. You know what I mean? Like I get it. That's appealing rather than just watching like, I don't know, Jim Gaffigan. I love Jim Gaffigan though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He's great, but
yeah, it's like almost like watching them and it's like, oh, this is for me. It's not for everyone. You know what I mean? That's like really fun stuff.
No, like 100% man, because like And I've always loved like black movies and stuff too. Yeah. Like barbecue. I've always wanted to go to like a black barbecue because my family, Asians don't do that shit. Well, Koreans don't do that shit, but like black people, I was like, whoa.
You guys barbecue indoors over a grill silently. Silently.
Dude, do you know how many times like where you're sitting to my left, my dad would be cooking and I'm sitting here just kind of like seething in rage about how he would kick my like hit me for no reason. Yeah. And he's like, eat more. And I'm like, why you fucking tell me to eat? right. I mean,
the most interaction you have with at a Korean barbecue is like more rice paper. And you're like, oh, this server knows the server's the most interaction I will have with everyone. It'd be just dead silent. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So okay. I remember real quick. I grew up in Gardena, and Gardena. I'm really lucky to have grown up with a huge amount of diversity. Like I remember my school, it was like a lot of black kids, a lot of Asian kids. It wasn't even a lot of Asian kids. It was like, oh, you know, you have your Chinese people, you have your Japanese people, you have your Koreans over here, you have your Tongans over here, Samoans over here. Like there was just, you weren't Asian, you were like Japanese or Korean. It was cool.
Specifics, right?
Yeah.
Because you know.
And my neighbors, they were black. They are black. They're both. And
they stopped being black.
They stopped being black.
Like
it wasn't trendy in 2018.
Yeah.
But they introduced me to honey barbecue wings as like a 13-year-old. And as a 13-year-old never having barbecue wings or honey barbecue wings your whole life and then trying it, I'm like, I really want to go to more of these because it was a barbecue. I was like, I should go to. This is fun. These are so good. When can I eat more of these? Like they're at Costco. I'm like, what's Costco?
Oh, yeah,
really? Like,
Costco. Yeah.
What kind of world is this?
I know Sam's Club. What's Costco though? Yeah.
So you always wanted to go to a black barbecue. Go on.
Yeah, black barbecue. You know, like I just loved and all the sitcoms that I resonated with growing up because I'd always be left at my grandma's house because my parents would work. So I had cable. I'd watch Family Matters, fucking what Fresh Prince. What is it? Steve Harvey show. Sister.
So it was big.
Smart guy.
Who's the comic on Sister? The old guy. John Witherspoon.
Yeah,
John Witherspoon.
Dude,
shit.
He's so fucking funny.
He still tours. He like still does clubs.
That's crazy.
As like I don't know. He's got to be in his 60s, 70s. He's got to be in his 70s.
Yeah, something like that. Like early 70s, maybe.
Yeah, John Witherspoon. Or there was another one I used to watch a lot. Hanging with Mr. Cooper.
Oh yeah, I used to watch that too.
Hanging with Mr.
Best. Cooper. Yeah, that guy. Mm-hmm. Fuck yeah, but like those shows, it was always like black entertainment, black. Even R&B. I loved R&B. I didn't know what R&B was, but I was like, what is this crazy harmonies? They go, and it would just like it would fucking feel like I was in like getting a massage from an angel. It was like right.
Well, I think what it kind of comes down to is it's not even race, and more I think is like economics and class. You know what I mean? Because so I have some cousins, Filipino, and when they first moved to the States, or when their family first moved to the States, they came up in West Covina, and West Covina had a lot of Filipinos, a lot of Asians, a lot of black people, a lot of Latinos, because West Covina was cheap to live. So it's weird because all of the Filipinos and Chinese and Koreans, they started adapting a lot of stuff that was in black culture, whether it was the music or just like, even today, Asians, Filipinos too, they're all about like feeling, you know what I mean? Like a lot of like love stuff, a lot of like things that like,
true.
A lot of their entertainment is very like, it's almost like flashy. And I think a lot of that culture from Asian American culture is from, you know, when we moved here, we moved to areas where there were a lot of black and Latino people because they also, you know, just because of class or economics, didn't get the jobs the white people were getting. Mm-hmm. So all the Asians and minorities like kind of came together. And now we all have like this weird hybrid of like, a lot of Asian stuff is like kind of black and borrows from like urban culture because that's what we came up with. And that was the style that was in our smaller towns where we could afford to live.
So you put it in a great way because other people would just be like culture vulture.
Yeah.
Steal the shit.
I think it was just what we knew.
Yeah, because it was normal.
We're around,
Yeah, it wasn't like, I got to be like as black as I can to get away from what the fuck I am. It wasn't like that.
Well, just like, I remember there's a mall in, I don't know if it's Covina or it might be in like Corona or something, but there's a mall that's like a super Asian mall with a lot of like black and urban elements to it. If you were a kid growing up out there, you weren't going to the super white mall. You were going to the mall that had like, you know, lids and you know what I mean? Like Anchor Blue and stuff like that.
Oh, dude, Anchor Blue. Dude, like when I used to always shop at Anchor Blue and that like, I'd always get polos. And the button ups. The checkered button ups from Anchor Blue. And I was known as like the polo guy. Because I'd always wear those, and Anchor Blue guy.
I remember dating a girl in high school who I think she worked at American Eagle. So I would like go to American Eagle and I would like get all like because American Eagle had like similar like Anchor Bluey. It was like Anchor Blue Plus in a way. It was like fancy.
I would buy that sometimes.
Yeah. And I remember she got me something. I'm like, fuck, I look like I'm dressed up from. I look like a fancy Anchor Blue person. Like if someone gave me $1,000, like you can spend this, but only at Anchor Blue. It's like, I'd buy this, and then you're an American Eagle person. I'm like, this is great. So we're talking about Anchor Blue and stuff. What was like you kind of talked about it. What was like your style when you were a kid? What did you wear?
Okay.
A lot of us wore just what was given to us. I feel like
we're talking high school? We're talking high school.
We're talking, let's go junior high.
Okay, junior high.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest, man. My mom was still laying out my clothes for me.
That's fair. I wish my mom still laid out my clothes for me. So you're fine.
Yeah.
You're absolutely fine.
I mean, I moved back home, so maybe I'll ask her to do it again so I can relive my childhood.
Yeah. She just lays out a bunch of Anchor Blue clothes.
Yeah, I know.
This is a size small.
I know, right?
It's a kid small.
No, they were small. They were fucking small. So like, yeah. So junior high was just shorts and not tank tops, just t-shirts, just
T-shirts,
whatever
t-shirts.
fucking t-shirts.
Yeah.
High school was all Anchor, and the reason why I wore those polos is because I went into high school 5'4" and 120 pounds. I was a twig. Okay, I'm 5'10" and a half and 170 now. So
You're 170.
Yeah.
You even look pretty skinny for 170. I thought you were like 150, 140 or something.
Oh, cool.
But I think you also have like, here's the thing, I'm fat, so I look at weight and fat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You're the only person to say that,
Muscle weight is different from fat weight. Yeah.
Because it weighs more, right? But other people say, oh, you look like you weigh more. But you're the first person to say, I look like I'm 150, 140. So there's a big like gap of.
But it's also kind of insulting because I'm mistaking your muscle for just fat. Like, I'm not assuming you're a muscle guy. No. He must be a fat guy. So he's like 140. Yeah.
That's the way it is.
There's only fat in his body.
Yeah. Just pure fat. My legs are just tone fat, though. I have weak fucking legs.
Really? I feel like my own muscles
fat.
are in my legs. I feel like I have no muscle.
You have some like fucking. I would be afraid to be kicked by you.
I would afraid to be kicked by me too, man.
Yeah, because that's a lot of like fucking Muay Thai kickboxing death right there.
It looks like it, but it's a lot of just, like, I don't know.
Nah, I still wouldn't
egg
want to
roll.
Nah. There's a lot of lumpia.
There's a lot of
hanging
lumpia
out
in there. Yeah,
just
just filled with it.
You kick me in the nose, it's gonna be a lot of sweet and sour sauce coming out of that. Yeah.
He's bleeding. Get a tissue. No, get a napkin.
Get a napkin. Yes. Wait, where are the spoon and fork? The spoon and
no
fork.
knife. Just a spoon and fork.
Yeah,
we don't need a knife.
Because we tear, we pull. Actually, I hung out with Filipinos straight from the Philippines for like 2-3 years, and they'd always speak Tagalog around me.
Yeah.
And we'd always eat like Filipino food, and
you probably ate it all the time.
Bulalo, crispy pata, kare kare. Like I eat it with the spoon and fork. Like it's like I choose that now at like American restaurants because it makes sense. Like why would I try to pick up these little fucking pieces of baby corn with a spoon and then it's rolling everywhere?
Then you can get the knife, or not the knife, the fork, put it against the spoon and twirl it. That's the hack.
Wait, what?
You use them together. So if you have like pancit, like noodles or chow mein or whatever, you put the spoon right here, you twirl it, then you put it against the spoon and you keep twirling.
I haven't
so
done
there's
that.
no fall down.
I have not done that one yet.
Yeah, it's great.
You just taught me a fucking hack. I'm gonna practice that one. Shit.
I don't know if we have high-speed internet back home, but we know how to eat noodles.
Yeah. Shit. So
we're talking about food really quick. Turn me on to some Korean stuff though, because I feel like I love Korean. I love Asian food, and a lot about Japanese food, and a lot about Chinese food, and a lot about Filipino food. I feel like Korean food, I'm still kind of like, what is this mysterious world of deliciousness?
Besides Korean barbecue, right? Because everybody knows Korean.
Everyone knows Korean. I remember, quick story. I was flying to the Philippines, and I was flying with Korean Air. Ooh. And Korean Air, on their menu, you could either get bibimbap or a ham and cheese omelet for breakfast on the menu. And I was a kid, so I was like, I don't know if I want bibimbap. It's a little too crazy for me. But I will take a ham and cheese omelet. That sounds great. But it wasn't a ham and cheese omelet. On the menu, it was listed ham and cheese omelet. So they gave you ham and cheese omelet. And it was two separate things.
Oh.
And it wasn't inside.
Oh.
And I was like, I don't understand. Like, I didn't understand what was going on. Because for them, they were like, what's an American food? Ham and cheese omelet? But it was ham and cheese omelet. Yeah.
That's weird.
And I was like, man, Koreans do their omelet crazy, man. It's all separate. But I also feel like that shouldn't be representative of all Koreans. Yeah,
because I was like, I don't know. Because what I was thinking was like they would put like, well, that's Japanese style. Japanese, they put like all the stuff on the inside. No, Koreans do that too. Anyways, okay.
Cool. What's like your favorite Korean food? What do you do?
The good Korean food I would say is kamjatang.
What's that?
No, kalbitang. So you know short ribs?
Yes.
Okay.
The one where they cut them and
Yeah, but this one's different because like kalbitang is like that, like a soup with that. But it's not just like the regular short rib. It's like the big chunks of like the tender, like kind of fatty
they are.
ribs, and then they put it in there, and then they it's got this bomb. I can't even explain the flavor, but it's fucking good. And they got like little like few pieces of radish, which is super, just melts because it's been in the soup for so long.
Mm-hmm. Oh my
a couple
God, that
of the
sounds
veggies.
amazing.
Yeah. So
And I'm sure like the fat is like disintegrated in the soup too.
Absolutely.
So it's like a fatty, like
delicious, just
yeah.
like a hot,
Savory.
fucking wintertime.
Yeah, that's a super wintertime kind of vibe.
So it's called kalbi tang.
Karbi tang.
Yeah, because kalbi is short rib.
Kalbi, yeah.
Yeah, that you know. And then tang is like soup or stew.
So is a lot of Korean food. So it's weird because I feel like there's two types of Korean food in my mind. There's like Korean barbecue, which is like super meat. And then everything else I feel is like pretty vegetarian vibe.
Yes, you're absolutely
like
right.
The soon tofu thing, bibimbap, like it's all like delicious, like pickled vegetables, fresh vegetables, things we do to vegetables and rice. Yeah. Like, is it like that? Like, do you guys eat a lot of like just veggie stuff, or is there always a protein?
Yeah, a lot of protein, of course, but with the like, let's say like one protein, there's like 4 different veggie sides.
Oh,
so there's always a gang of sides.
I love sides.
Yeah,
I love American barbecue. American barbecue is probably my favorite food in the whole world. But I think what I've realized recently is I love barbecue, but I really love greens and mac and cheese and good mashed potatoes and great cornbread.
Yes.
I'm all about the sides.
Yeah.
So this is opening a whole new realm in my mind. If you told me Korean sides are like, what's up?
Dude, and just like exploring the world of Korean sides, there's crazy sides that you like.
What's the yellow radish? You know what I'm talking about?
Takgwang.
Yeah, I can get down with that any day. Or
Yeah.
your potato salads are bomb.
But it gets even crazier, man. There's like, I don't even remember the names, but it's like different, like pickled, like you said, pickled vegetables that all taste different, that have different textures, different like very like levels of spice and seasoning, and it's just it like makes it fun. It changes, like, you know, people put, let's put more Lorry seasoning or like lemon pepper on this fucking like chicken or whatever. Sometimes like
you season it with vegetables and sides.
No. What I do is like I'll eat the chicken, like a basic chicken, whatever, and then I'll get like one Korean side, like this thing that looks like a green bean almost, but it has like this like powerful like flavor, like it hits. It's not spicy, but it's strong, and it just changes the game for the whole fucking meal.
Jesus.
Because if I didn't have that, it would just be like a simple boring chicken rice. But just that, and just like
levels it up.
Like just taking a bite of chicken, taking a bite of rice, all in one mouth, in a mouthful, and then taking a bite of that like one little like 2-inch like fucking string bean looking shit
just makes everything magical.
100%.
God, I gotta dive into more Korean food. There's I don't like bean sprouts. I think that's what they're called.
Oh yeah, the bean sprouts.
I'm not a fan. Like, I don't really put them in like my pho when I'm eating Vietnamese or whatever. I don't like them. I think they have like a weird like crispiness to them. I don't know. There's something about them that I just don't like. But I will eat the Korean, the one where it's like a little more limp. It's not as like crispy. You know what I'm talking
flaccid.
about? Yeah, like it's a little flaccid bean sprout. There's a flaccid bean sprout dish that I love in my mouth. But a lot of Korean barbecue places have it. It's like, I don't eat bean sprout, but this is the one bean sprout that I will just get 5 orders of every time, because it's, I don't know what Korean spices are in there, how they marinate it, but it's, I think it honestly probably just like vinegar.
So imagine that. Imagine that you don't eat bean sprouts. You don't like it, but then you can eat it Korean style.
Yeah.
So imagine the vegetables that you do like and that you haven't really tried.
Leveled up that hard.
The ones that you haven't even heard of. It's on a whole nother level, man. And it's healthy. It tastes good. It's healthy. You don't feel guilty over it. You're like, is this supposed to taste this good?
Well, I feel guilty over it just because I'm eating 3 pounds of brisket on the side. You know what I mean? That's probably why. There's a place we're in Torrance, and there's a place on Torrance. Or no, it's Sepulveda and Western. It's by the BCD Tofu House, by the Arby's, by the Mulligan.
Oh, the
Mulligan.
PC Bunk Cyberlab.
Yeah,
Computer Cafe. Yeah.
There's a Korean barbecue place in there, and they have a bibimbap salad bar.
Do they really?
It's crazy. So you go and you get your meat, but they don't like give the sides to you. You go to the salad bar, and there's like 20 different just like vegetables. And you can just, like,
I've never seen that.
I almost want to go there, pay my like $25 or whatever, and be like, no meat. I just want some delicious bean sprouts and rice. That'd be great.
Yeah, because there's no guilt after either.
There's no, yeah.
And it tastes good.
It's also a lie, because I will eat all the meat. I will eat all the pork belly.
He will.
Hey, this is enough food talk. Let's talk about comedy.
We can talk about whatever the fuck.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, we talk about whatever, man. But
well, here, I have a question for you.
Sure.
You've been doing comedy for a minute. What is the best food you've gotten at a mic or a show? What show or mic has the best food for you?
You get foods?
I don't even go up. I just go to watch. I just know would never do that.
Oh, you mean at like a bar and stuff, or is that what you're talking about, or do they serve you? Are you talking about?
Or either like
'Cause I never got served. I'm not up there.
oh no, I'm not talking about get served. I'm like, what like pizzeria has the best pizza that has a mic?
Oh, you
or
mean
what
that
like
type of stuff?
Yeah, like what like bar mic or bar show? It's like I'm excited to do time, but I also know they got a damn good do you only go to not Mike's?
If they do sell food, I don't buy it.
That's fair.
Because especially if it's like a $5 mic and I have to pay to perform.
Yeah.
I'll just drink water to get full. I'll just drink water.
No, I hear you.
Like sometimes like I'll bring a gallon of water and I'll just chug that.
I feel you.
To stay hydrated too.
Sometimes I'll go to like a show or a mic and I'll get excited because I'm like, oh, that's a block away from that taco place.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes the food is there, but sometimes
yeah.
But I think I just like food a lot, so I try to integrate it in as many ways as possible to everything I do.
You cook?
I do like to cook. I do, but I'm not like I feel like I always cook things that I'm like. I don't have one recipe for something. I always like to continually like mess with things. You know what I mean? I don't think I made one thing twice. Like, oh, let's try this but spicy. Let's try this, but what if I double the garlic? Or what if we take out this?
Oh.
So
very comedian mindset right there.
It's a very
Building
comedian
jokes.
mindset. Yeah. So I feel like I don't have anything that I cook a lot because of that. Other than like maybe pasta. I do a lot of sauces. A lot of pasta, yeah. Do you cook?
Yeah, a bit basic stuff because I'm a simple guy. So when I cook for myself, I'm not like
chicken rice, a little something here.
Yeah. Maybe put like a little sesame oil in the rice just to add a little tiny taste.
Sesame oil is so great. It's so because sesame oil can change. It's kind of like that vegetable you're talking about. Yeah. You can really up the game. I'll make like coleslaw where it's like, oh, let me chop up a cabbage and put some rice vinegar in it. Then put a little sesame oil in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or I'll make like a very basic like egg fried rice. You know what I mean? Like egg and garlic and rice. But I'll be like, this is some sesame oil. And then it like ups and
no, literally like for like 2 weeks I kept putting sesame oil into my rice because it's like it's like you kind of feel it like changes the rice a little bit, and then when you like you finish kind of chewing the protein in your mouth, and then it starts to be because there's always for some reason it's always like the rice that stays right in your mouth, and then you taste that leftover sesame, like, and you're like, whoa, that's like it's like a happy ending.
Comes.
It's like cum, you know. It's like
I love to eat cum. No,
dude,
I don't.
fuck you.
Unless it has some sesame oil on it.
Yeah. Fuck it. Mix it together. Drink it.
There's a barbecue place near my house. It's in Gardena. It's called Furisato.
Oh my god, dude! I used to go there all the time.
$11. I think it's like $11.99.
Yeah, that's why we went.
Because it was so cheap.
Yeah.
But they do for their sides. I think they do like a ponzu sauce. It's like a sweet like soy sauce or whatever.
Yeah.
And then they just give you all it is sesame oil and salt. They just fill up with it is so good.
It's the best.
You die. But it's so good.
You die in heaven.
You do die in heaven.
Yeah.
Heaven filled with just meat and no salad for me. I'm good.
Yeah. I don't go to Furisato anymore because like they got cheaper with their meat.
They did.
Way cheaper. So it's been years since I went.
It's also not as like I think they get the hustle now because before like talking 5-6 years ago you would go more meat or someone was always checking on you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you could always just get endless pussy. Now they'll like check in with you every like 20 minutes
to save money.
Yeah, because they know once you hound them down, you're ordering things. You know.
Yeah. That's why they wanna. Now they're shifting more towards like American mindset because the Korean style of service is constant checking up on you. Yeah. So when you go to the really good ones in like Koreatown or wherever the fuck it is, they're on point, man. Some of those fucks are lazy though. So you
ever go to Mana?
I think I went there before. Yeah. It's been a while.
I can't remember
it though.
I'm 29 now. It's been at least 10 years. I was probably like 18, 17 maybe when I went. When it's your birthday, I heard they will stand on top of the table and they'll like bukkake you with like cheap champagne.
What?
Yeah, like the servers. It's like, oh, it's my birthday. They're like, oh, they play like club music. They start singing. Then someone gets on, boop, and then just showers you in champagne out of their champagne dick. I want to tell them. I want to go there on my birthday just to get
swallow the champagne, bukkake. Yeah, just get all over you.
So it's not as salty. It's delicious.
Yeah,
right?
It makes it feel good.
There's another place in Gardena called Moon.
Oh, Moon BBQ.
Yeah, Moon I think is my new Furisato. I used to go to Furisato, now I go to Moon all the time.
Moon is a level up, and there's like Star BBQ I think next to it.
Star BBQ is across the street. I want to say, yeah. Star BBQ is good, but I feel like they're I don't know. I think I just like Moon more. I think it's just personal preference.
And yeah,
Moon also has the Yakult sake, or no, Yakult soju.
yogurt soju.
Yeah.
Korean way to say yogurt, because they say yogurt.
Say it again.
Because no Korean says yogurt. You're right. That's American.
Yeah.
Yogurt.
Yeah.
Yogurt. Like make
You're
it really
putting, like,
Asian,
root
like
on-
breaking it apart.
Yogurt?
Yogurt. Yeah.
Yogurt. It sounds like a horrible like anime superhero.
Yeah. No, you sound like
Yogurt.
yeah. Because the way you said yogurt, you sounded like a white dude trying to like for the first time do English dub of like an anime. Yogurt desu. Yogurt.
So I was telling you earlier, I have a channel with Dre Magic. He's a really great magician in town, super funny. We do a show called That's Rap together, much on it. But I think we did this thing one time. We had our white friend just read Tagalog out of like a dictionary.
Oh shit!
And I was like, this is dumb. I don't know if this is gonna work. Probably one of my favorite videos we've ever done. Just for 10 minutes, it's Greg. It's our friend named Andrew. He's wonderful. He's great, but he cannot pronounce things for shit. And it's the best video in the whole world.
Dude, you know I can read Tagalog, right? I don't know what I'm reading, but I can
all you got to do is make it choppy and yell it like you would to your disappointed child or son or daughter.
I learned it so I could sing along with my Filipino friends at karaoke. Because they would always sing Tagalog songs, and I'd be like, fuck, I want to join in, even if I don't know what it means.
You know what I love about Filipinos and karaoke? A lot of Filipino Americans speak like we're speaking now, but the ones who are like very Filipino, who have like that thick accent, they'll do karaoke in perfect English. It's my favorite because you'll talk to them and they'll be like, "Oh, so we're going to go over there. We're going to over there, and then we're going to eat, and then after we eat, we're going to go to the bar." And you're like, "What are you saying?" But then they'll like get on the mic and they're just like, "Oh, sometimes when we touch."
That is so true. That is so fucking true.
How do you switch that?
It's weird too because like it's for like any language. I feel like because like if I sing in Tagalog or if I sing in Spanish, people think I speak it.
You can do the inflections. You can do the whatever the nuances are.
Yeah. And then when I try to say it, it just bombs. Like it sucks. It doesn't sound that good, right?
Yeah.
So it's weird by like when you sing it, it's like the melody and the music helps like,
Well, because you know it as the way it was sung. Because you hear it that way.
Yeah. So you don't say it in like a way like where there's because when you just speak it, there's so many little parts that let you know this guy's not a native.
Because I know, like I have Filipino friends or Filipino family where they're like, "Oh, Erick, you know the driver." I'm like, "The what?" "Oh yeah, he over there, the driver." "Oh, the driver." But then when they sing a song, they can be like, "Oh, the driver." What's going on? Like, why does this song have driver in it? I was trying to think of a driver song. There aren't many.
Yeah, what if it's like they don't understand you and they just say it the same way too? Like, so you saw the driver, right? What is that? It's like, oh, sorry. You see the driver.
Yeah.
Oh, the driver over there. Okay, he's coming real soon. Okay, right there.
What's your go-to karaoke song? Do you have a go-to karaoke song?
Of course I do.
Do you have more than one?
I do have more than one.
Give me your top three.
Okay. My go-to karaoke songs. Okay. Number one above all else is Just the Two of Us by Bill Withers, Grover Washington. That's my jam.
That's a sexy song.
That is my shit.
That's like pony level sexy.
It is, but with a little bit more
that gets
class.
Hey man, pony's got some.
No, I'm a pony. Okay. I don't mean class, but just like more like acceptable to children's ears.
It's the one that'll get people on the dance floor, grinding a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that one. Yeah,
but in like a respectable, maybe not 100% private school way, but just like like transitioning to public school,
like a private school in Carson. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but yeah,
yeah, like Carson. Yeah. So
there's some edge to it, but it's still a private school.
Exactly. So they're still cool, right? Like they rock out, but they still praise Jesus.
Amen. Reliant K, baby.
Reliant K. I love Reliant K.
Reliant K is great.
But,
that's your second karaoke song.
No, second karaoke song. It's
the Sadie Hawkins dance was my number 2, followed by Sadie Hawkins dance again at number 3.
Song. I used to listen to that song like hoping somebody would ask me to Sadie Hawkins.
Yeah,
I was not cool in high school. I didn't get any girls.
Were
you? I feel like you were.
You know what? I was popular, but I wasn't cool.
Wait, what?
I feel like in high school, because I did a lot of theater, and we had a small school, so I think like people knew me from theater, people knew me from the improv team. I remember actually in high school, I was expelled, and they changed it from an expulsion to a suspension, which is, if you're expelled from high school as a Filipino, you're kind of just expelled from life. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
But like I got a suspension, I got to fill it out. But part of the suspension was like you can't do anything for the rest of the year. Like you can't go to prom, you can't go to homecoming, you can't go to the senior luau. But they forgot to take my name off the ballot for prom court. So I got voted into prom court, which was like a great like fuck you to the school. You know what I mean? Like you can't do this, but then like the people brought me to it. But it was one of those things where it was like, I don't think I was a cool kid, but I was like popular and known enough to like get onto prom court, or at least for the kids to just have a fuck you to the staff. You know what I mean?
That's weird. That's like a weird like popular.
Because like, so when you had like your sporty kids, the sporty kids were cool. You know what I mean? They like went to all the parties.
So you were still like super likable, but you weren't like in the mold of high school cool, like what people would imagine.
Like the cool kids, like, wow, you're 17 and you tried Coke and drank
I see what you mean.
Beer at a party.
Oh yeah.
I'm 17 and hey guys, if we just have 2 more people join the improv workshop, then we'll have 3 people at this improv workshop and we can play games. So who wants to be a part?
You know, now that I'm thinking about it, I remember there was like guys like you that I saw that were like popular, but they weren't like douchebags.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm not saying they're all douchebags, the athletes and all that, but I just mean like, oh, he was always nice. Even though he hung out, even though he could hang out with them if he wanted to.
Yeah, exactly. And also, I didn't have cliques. I was kind of just like an everyone person. Or that might mean I just didn't have friends. I just had like, but like I kind of hung out with everyone, but I wasn't like with like a certain crew.
Okay, why was it like that? Is it because you're half Mexican, or you're half something like?
Yeah, I'm half Filipino, half Mexican.
Okay.
I feel like it's weird. I don't think it was by choice, or I don't think it was because I was like doing anything weird. I think just mentally I was so like ADD and so just like It's like, oh, they want to hang out, yeah, let's hang out with them. Oh, where are you guys going? You want to? Oh, I'll be right back. And then you just never come. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, very like, let's just chill with everyone.
But I feel like you also you don't like, you didn't want to be. Okay, how do I say this? Okay, you probably
like,
didn't.
How can I say this and not have my guest be sad? How can I not make Eric upset?
Yeah, because maybe it's also like you didn't like resonate, or you didn't like fit just into one area like other people would have. Because that's what it felt like for me, and that's why I was like that. I had multiple different groups and all this, different interests and stuff, right?
Totally. Like I think my main people who I hang out with a lot were people that they were people I loved and I still consider like my really good friends to this day. But it was almost like we hung out together because we were in plays together, or I was in a band with this guy, so his friends became my friends. You know what I mean? Or I was doing something. Or I was in student government, so I was hanging out with those people. It's kind of just like wherever life took me. Yeah. So I think the point is I have no loyalty to anyone. I think that is I'm not a no. I'm very. Am I? I don't know. I haven't really thought about it. I think I'm loyal. I hope so. Hey, what's your 3rd favorite karaoke song?
Deflection.
I need to feel right now. No.
It's I really like What You Won't Do for Love by Bobby Caldwell.
Oh, that's kind of a deep cut.
Deep cut? What does that mean?
It's kind of like that's not a common one. That's not like Don't Stop Believing is popular, but Raps is popular, but this is like it's a sleeper. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, that's a great karaoke song.
I just love that song. I don't know. I like a lot of like the older songs because they make me feel good, and actually a lot of music I listen to is like kind of old too.
Have you ever gotten into Benton Wood? Benton Wood's great. He's Al Greeny, like very like Al Green-esque. But if you're into like sexy, like old school, it's it's soul. It's just like good soul.
I love it.
But I'm on like a big like Benton Wood kick right now. God, I love karaokeing. If there was ever a Korean barbecue place with karaoke, which has to be a thing.
There's gotta be, man.
Just out there.
I'm a karaoke freak too. And nothing excites me, dude. I think that's also why I got along with Filipinos so well. Because every time I'd go to like a Filipino house and they had a fucking party, whether it was like a Manny Pacquiao fight celebration,
there was meat and there was karaoke.
Exactly. There's pork. You got the lechon, right?
Yeah.
And I would be inside like half the time just singing on the magic mic.
Nice.
With like 3 aunts.
Ants. Yeah.
Yeah.
3 like 50-year-old titas.
Yeah. All the guys are outside just smoking, yeah, yo si tayo, tarna, doing that shit.
In between the verse and the chorus, they're like spoon feeding you like peanut sauce. You're like, oh, this is great. Thank you.
Then I'm looking outside, they're looking at me, and then I'm just like, I should probably be out there because they invited me, but let me sing another Lionel Richie song.
Filipinos, man, they're so work hard, play hard. You know what I mean? Like Filipinos are hard workers, they hustle, but when it's time to get down, it's like, let's eat 2 whole roasted pigs and 4 cases of beer and sing for 12 hours. Like, let's just do that on our day out. I'm like, wow, you deserve it.
Yeah, they go fucking hard, man.
They go real hard. I love it.
Yeah, I had a Red Horse?
Yeah.
I had the American watered down one, right? And it still fucked me up. And my friend was, pare, when in Philippines, it's much stronger. You know that, right? I'm like, really? Because this fucked me up. He's like, oh, yeah.
Well, out here we have a ton of beer, and out there they have a bunch of beer too. But it's very like San Mig, Red Horse. Yeah. You're either drinking San Miguel or Red Horse. It's kind of just like what's everywhere and what you rely on is just everyone's go-to beer, or a lot of people's go-to beer. So everyone, it's like, oh, we're gonna go out. Let's drink some San Miguels. Let's party. But when you want to turn up, it's like, hey guys, it's a Red Horse night. Like, it's a hell of a beer. Because I think out here it's like what, 8% or like maybe even 7%.
Yeah, something like that.
Out there, I want to say it's got to be more.
Yeah, no, for sure. Because they told me that out of the pack, you'll find one with like the cap has like a smiley face or something like that, and that's like extra strong. What the fuck is that, man?
It's a Russian roulette of alcohol.
It is. Why don't we have that here?
I think we do have that here.
Do we?
There's a lot more scary white guys. So they're called roofies. I think that's the only.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's the surprise.
Hey, I'll have one. It'll be a good time.
Fuck it, man. Yeah. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I don't want to remember.
I don't need to remember.
I just want to feel.
I do want to feel, but I want to feel.
Yeah, I want to feel. I want to feel.
I don't want to feel.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, Red Horse it's great.
By the way, when we said that, we were talking about us getting roofied, not roofing other people. Just saying.
Oh, I was taught. Let's move on.
Okay.
No, I want to get. We should move on from this bit.
Yeah.
I remember being in the Philippines, and I think it's also a mix of just like the weather, because it's so hot out there, and you sweat more. Yeah, you sweat way more, so you're like dehydrated, and then you have this like giant crazy beer, and you're just like. Where out here, I can have a beer and be like, oh, okay, whatever, go about my day. Out there, it's like, no, you have a Red Horse, you're done. But yeah, man. I love Filipino stuff. It's great.
What? Okay, so since you're half,
yes.
How much do you? Obviously, you identify big time with the Filipino side. How much do you resonate with the Mexican side?
You know what? My dad's mom, my grandmother lived with us for a while, but she was the only grandparent I knew. And both on the Filipino side, they passed away. I want to say my dad's dad passed away at a young age, and we weren't really close to a lot of those family members. Unfortunately, I wish we were, but we just weren't. So I feel kind of sad, because I think a lot of that culture, which I would love to, but like especially would have loved to as a kid, experienced. Yeah, we didn't really have the chance to do it. So my family was mostly the Filipino side.
So it really was just circumstantial. It wasn't like a decision that was made.
Yeah. And also, I think there's a big difference now between like first generation and second generation. You know what I mean? And my dad's first generation. So unfortunately, after every generation, hopefully the culture doesn't get watered down, but it just kind of happens just because you're living in a new place. You don't have those connections. So I think my grandmother was fairly Mexican, she was very Mexican, but she came from the we're Americans now mentality. You know what I mean? Like, don't learn Spanish. Oh, yeah. You're not a Mexican. You're an American. You know what I mean? Like, you do things the American way. So I think my dad grew up that way and didn't get too much of the Mexican culture. Yeah. So by the time I came along, I pretty much had, like, I got more of the culture just being in LA than I did from my father.
I get it.
You know what I mean? And but on the Filipino side, it's like, no, we are from the Philippines. Let's go.
That's what we are.
Boom, 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 boom. Yeah. Which I'm so grateful for, and I loved. I'm so, like, even your godfather in Tagalog in the Filipino language is called your ninong. And even when I visited my nephew, who's also my godson, I think I said something where it's like, I think it was like, oh, I'm here, I got some toys, I had to get you some because I'm your godfather or whatever. Yeah. And my cousin was like, no, like, you're his ninong. You know what I mean? Don't say Uncle Eric. Don't say Godfather Eric. Don't say Eric. Say ninong. You know what I mean? Like whatever we have in our culture, let's make sure we're grasping onto it. Yeah. Where on the Mexican side, it was like, no, he's your uncle. He's not your tio. You know what I mean? He's your uncle. Yeah.
That's interesting because out of all the ethnicities that I meet, I meet more Mexicans that say that they grew up with their families saying, no, we're speaking English because we want to make it better for you or something like that, right? But it's interesting why it seems to be more of them than others.
It was a different time and it was a different culture that I can't understand because I was there. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know the trauma or persecution they felt for being Latino, and they're like, well, whatever. Or just the trauma that happened maybe in their own country, and they came here to start a new life, and to start a new life, they want to start a blank slate. Like, no.
Yeah.
We're American.
Maybe it's because they're here.
Yeah, like I can't
literally
speak for
like here,
them,
like they're within, you know, it's like right. I mean, there's just you could just drive there, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Versus just people coming from like the others are coming from all the way in a completely different area, like thousands of miles away, however many. So that's an interesting thing that I kind of want to look into for sure, but not right now because none of us know anything about this. We don't know. We don't really know. Yeah. We just try to make people laugh. You know. So 7 years in, how different do you feel than like over the past 7 years?
In terms of excitement and like love, nothing's changed. You know what I mean? I still very much love what I do. It's very much like the biggest passion and motivation for me. I think something that's different now is I very much separate it from I wouldn't say my identity, but like there's like a work-life balance in comedy that I have now that I didn't have a year in. In a year, it was like, no, everything I do has to boil down to comedy.
Shit, that's me.
Well, I still have that today.
Yeah.
But it's not as you know what it is? I think I have goals today. So it's like for me, I'm focused on attaining my goals and like reach like every day I want to hit a step. So I'm a little closer to like this thing that I want to achieve in a year, this thing I want to achieve in the next 6 months. Where before I was very frantic. And I was like, let me do everything.
Like a desperation type thing.
There's some desperation to it. There was a craziness to it. There was like, I don't know how this works, so I just want to do everywhere. And I'm so excited about it. I think I've lost some of that, and I've gained a little bit more of like I want to do this specific thing, so I'm going to work towards this specific thing. Or like, I don't know, if like before, if a club or a producer would have fucked me over and let's just say just did something really shady, I would have been like, oh, okay, could I get another spot? You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Where now I'm a little more
me.
like, it's kind of all of us, you know what I mean? Yeah. But now I'm a little more kind of like, I really want to work with this person, so I'm gonna try to work with this person, or that person did me dirty, and there's 100 other producers in a 20.
Oh, you're coming from a abundant standpoint now instead of like scarcity.
It's quality over quantity now,
and that
1,000% quality over quantity right now. Yeah.
So there's more self-respect. There's more you like yourself more because you're doing that for yourself.
Yeah,
in a sense,
and
right?
and there's I think I value myself as a comic now, and I think that's a big thing that a lot of comics. I don't want to tell them how to live lives or how to focus their perspective, but I think if you're a comedian, like you are doing something that not a lot of people can either A, do, or B, have the balls to do. Yeah. And that kind of makes you like a weird superhero. That gives you like a weird superpower. And because you have that weird superpower, treat yourself like you're a superhero. You know what I mean? Like if someone is willing to pay you X amount for a show, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Take that money or maybe even try to increase it or whatever. Like, don't water down the industry. You know what I mean? I feel like a lot of people are so desperate just to like do whatever. It's like, cool, but also just like check yourself. You're great and you're doing something amazing. So just know that, you know what I mean? If someone wants you to drive 100 miles for a free set, I'm just saying, think about it twice. Where me 6 years ago would have been like, I'll do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, how do you tell them no? If it was that exact example.
If someone was like 100 miles away to a free set?
No.
The way I would approach it is I would be like, hey man, I'm coming from this far. Could I get some gas money? Because that would be fair. Or B, I'll do this, but this now has to be like an audition for me to come back and headline for more money than I would have wanted from you now. You know what I mean? So if you're going to pay me nothing to do this, you should pay me at least, you know, couple hundred if I were to come back to do some time. Where now I'd probably do it for $75, but because you're not paying me, now you're in the hole and you have to pay me when I come back.
Yeah.
The way I look at it too is before I would do everything just to do it. Now, every time I do something, it needs to either be a step towards the goal that I want to achieve eventually, or it should bank me better work in the future. Because I'm not above hosting a show at all at a club for a weekend, but if you host me, I want to host here and break even or lose a little money so you'll feature me next time. You know what I mean? I won't just go out there to host it. I want to do it so in a year I can get double the money and feature for you. You know what I mean?
Also, you're really coming from it from the standpoint of like straight like business relationship, like treating yourself as more of like this. I am my own business too.
I am. We all are.
Yeah, I can't just be in the fucking hole just to get some stage time, right?
Well,
some are far away.
It's also, you know, I don't have I act and that brings in a little bit of money. I teach, which is really nice. I get like little jobs teaching like improv workshops, stand-up workshops, that brings a little money. But ultimately stand-up is the bread and butter. So like if I do this for you for free, then you look at my business as something that's just free.
And take advantage of that.
Yeah.
And lower what was it? Quality? Not quality. Whatever it is. Yeah, something like that.
But like now it's kind of like, well, I need this to survive. Yeah. Like I need to make X amount of money per month for me to like pay my bills and just like live as a person. You know what I mean? Yeah. I need to hit that point. And if you're giving this to me free, I could literally do something else and achieve that goal of making enough money to live as a person. You know what I mean? So I'm going to do that other thing. And even if I don't have the other thing there, I don't want to be known as someone who will just do like free stuff for you. Like, I talked to a bar the other day and I was like, oh, it'd be great if you guys could do a stand-up night. I would love to produce something for you. And they're like, oh, well, how much do you charge? Because we have someone who approached us recently who will do it for free. And I'm like, well, if they approached you first, I totally get it. What I'm going to tell you is if you want to do it for free, you're getting a free show. You know what I mean? Like I'm going to like, because he even had the argument where he was like, people can, you know, would they do it for just exposure? I'm like, yeah, but then you're getting comics who need exposure. So if you want to put comics up who don't know anyone and can't bring anyone, can't pull a crowd, aren't very funny because they need to show what's up, you can have that show. For a few $100, I can get you a name of someone who can bring in X amount of people because they're a name, not because they're a bringer, but because they're a name, and they're going to buy beers and you'll be great. And it'll be a great show and everyone will be like, we went to this great show instead of we went to a show where just a ton of okay people did comedy. So you really are getting what you pay for. And I also feel very strongly about comics getting paid. If someone's making money, comics should be getting paid. If no one's making money, I get it. But if there's a cover charge or if there's money being made by someone, by a producer, throw everyone at least gas money, at least.
I didn't do that the first show because I didn't know anything about that.
Yeah.
And then I had a co-producer.
They're various levels.
Yeah. But now for myself, since I'm solely producing it, that's exactly what I was thinking. So I'm glad you said that because I was like, I can at least give them gas money because I don't really make fucking shit from this shit, like nothing. And whatever little I will make is all based on ticket prices, and that's gonna go back to the people that I hire and to do like my shit, cameraman. It's all marketing.
Yeah.
I'm not making anything to live from this. Period. I'm getting this is like my second show in like 4 months. So what the fuck am I doing, right?
But it's just like owning any business. Like you talk to, like I remember I love Shark Tank.
Oh, yeah, Shark Tank.
Shark Tank. And there's this guy who was like, I want to make at least this amount of money for this percentage. And they're like, what are you going to use the money for? He's like, well, first off, I'm going to use it to pay myself $100,000 a year for the first 2 years. And all the sharks were like, yo, no. Because when we started our first business, I didn't give myself a paycheck for a year. I didn't give you open up a restaurant, you're probably not getting paid yourself for a year or two just to build it up. And it's the same with being a comedy producer. You know what I mean? Like if you want to start a show and you really want to invest in it, like you're probably not going to see a lot of money in the beginning because your money's going everywhere else.
Exactly. And you know what? Like I just care about giving not just myself stage time, but like people that are, you know, that are funny, that time to make an audience feel good
Yes.
Right? Because I get high just opening up the door from the green room and just hearing the laughs. I'm like, oh, they're having a good time.
I get high just being in a green room, just being around it.
Yeah, just being around it. Right? Even if I'm not even like in the thing, but you're like you said, you're there. You're just exposed to it. Like you're in the fucking energy. And
I just went to Universal Studios and I got a high from the tour because I was on a set.
Oh yeah,
like shit like that. Just being around that energy. Comedy is so beautiful, but the beauty and the excitement should be part of the payoff, not all of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. The intrinsic value, right? So, damn, dude. By the way, before we end this, I gotta say, this man was the first guy, Mr. Erick.
Mr. Erick, that's me.
Was the first guy to come up to me and say hi and shake my hand like a human being. Because like, dude, it feels really lonely in this journey, especially early on when there's a lot of jerks in this industry, a lot of insecure, egotistical, fucking sad motherfuckers that just want to bring down other people, especially if you're new. And then you were the first one to really just like greet me, and I was like, oh, maybe there are more people like him.
Well,
so thank you for that.
Well, no, it was only because someone told me that you were Joe Coy, so I figured I got to say hi to. Is that what he looks like in person? Oh my god!
Oh, his hair grew back.
Looks so much more Korean than I thought. Wow,
it was bald.
No, I appreciate that. I appreciate that, but I like don't want to say. I want to say thank you, but I don't want to say thank you because we should all be nice people, and we should all be like good to each other. We're in this together. We all know how much this sucks.
Oh, yeah.
Comedy sucks so much. Why is there so much division within the community?
Yeah, why?
When we should really be a community. And I think it's because people get salty. People book stuff. People get a sitcom. People get a late night spot. People get jealous. I get it. People do it for 10 years and they get burnt out. I think the burnout in comedy is so real because getting on stage multiple times a night, multiple times a week weighs on you emotionally, mentally, physically, financially, and it can mess you up. And I don't know, if you're a comic or just a person, like, you deserve a hello. You deserve a handshake.
Yeah.
And it's, I don't know. I take the compliment, but we should all be a little nicer to each other.
And you know what? That is the lesson that we will leave you guys with. Be kind to people. Be kind to yourself. Love yourself. And remember, life is a marathon. Rest in peace, Nipsey Hussle. Thank you, Erick, for being on the show. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Guys. Where can they find you? Social media.
Instagram is at Erik Escobar, ErikEscobar. I'm also part of Three Sweet Productions. Check me out at Three Sweet Productions. Actually, Mike's gonna be a little thing, little thing. So yeah, check me out on there. I post all my shows there. Erik Escobar Comedy is my website. When is this coming out?
This is gonna come out 2 weeks from now.
2 weeks from now?
Yeah.
Cool. In about 2 weeks, I'll be traveling all over. I'm doing a lot of East Coast stuff. So in November, December, if you're in Virginia or Boston or New Hampshire, that's it. Check out a show. I'll be back in DC in January. But in the meantime, I'll be out here doing stuff in LA, the Northwest. It's a good time.
It's a great time.
It's a great time to be alive.
So guys,
love each other.
Eat
Korean barbecue.
Eat Korean barbecue.
Unless you're veggie, pesca, vegan, then you do you.
You do you.
Have better blood pressure than me.
Thank you for listening, and I will see you on the next episode of the Set Breaker podcast.
Break them sets.
Peace.